Before the world sees your wins, your soul has to feel your work. It's the reps nobody applauds that produce the wins that do, all through a shifting of your identity into a dominator. This is all done in the dark every single day. So let me be your guide as I welcome you to this episode of the Dark Work Daily.
Got an interesting idea for you today. I want you to write the autopsy and then bury it. Right? And usually what you think about is, when I'm talking about an autopsy, something died, right? Something died and it needs to be buried. So you want to find out what was going on, what the cause of death might have been, and then bury it and get it done, right? Here's how we're going to do this, though. I want you to do it for your identity. So I want you to write out the identity that you've been carrying, the limitations, the labels, the moments that have shaped it. And if you're writing it as an autopsy, I want you to have this report. Like there's always an autopsy report. I want you to report the version of yourself that no longer exists. Because this is the one we want to be able to get rid of, to bury it, to kill it off. The cause of death, to be honest, is going to be simple. You chose to kill it. It's murder. But the best kind, if that exists. And what it means is you're not performing for grief. You're not trying to feel sad about this. You're trying to make this thing final. Get clear on what it was. And then from there, you start to think about the dark works that are required that you can do that will actually close the door on this old person. Because the moving on portion of grief is an interesting thing. It's not that you're trying to feel bad, but you do want to move on. And the moving on means I'm going to go ahead and close this door and do dark work to get past it. Not just leave it cracked while you try to become somebody new and look at this thing and go, maybe I can go back to that. No, you don't go back to that identity. That one's dead and gone. You move forward. So I want to call this a Friday reset for you. It's burial. Like next week, it's to start a whole new week. And when I talk about burying the identity, we can show up quite literally immediately different. You don't need some, amazing catalyst moment that all of a sudden something happened that was so big and so crazy that people will understand why you made a change. It can be as simple as going, you know what? I want to make a change. And you change it. That's the gift that we don't realize we get to give ourselves. The ability to change our entire lives by changing how we function. I recently saw a video that says, there's a way we don't pay attention to light, but we are an image and we have a reflection. The image is our identity, how we see ourselves. The reflection is our life. Who we are is reflected in the life that we have, the way it's lived, the things that are part of our lives. Your identity is what's being shown out. Your life reflects back to you. So what you do creates the actions or reactions from the world around you to create your life. But here's the thing. When you change your life, it's like changing the reflection. Do you think that you have the ability to, if you see, some kind of a piece of food on your mouth in the reflection, do you wipe the reflection to get the food off? No, you wipe your mouth. You make a change here and it reflects itself differently in your life. So when I talk about writing an autopsy, here are the habits, the patterns, things that I want to get rid of. Those are things you want to change about you and your identity. You want to be able to bury this old identity so that it doesn't show up in a way that will mess up the reflection that is your life. And so the functional part of this is going to be, what are the habits, patterns, ideas, thoughts, statements, people that got to be removed, buried, and pushed away so you can actually live on differently. See, I did this exact same thing in 2016. I found that I was in this position where I was not being a good dude. Life was not great. I wasn't having much of my life, and my life reflected the identity I had inside. Chaos, conundrum, mix-up, lack, no abundance. And so when I wanted to change my life, I thankfully went internal first. I figured out what Anthony had to do to grow, to be better, to be bigger, to be stronger. I figured out what Anthony had to do to be a better human being overall. When I found out what Anthony had to do, Anthony made those changes. And here's the interesting thing. The reflection changed. The life outside of me changed. Relationships came back in, got stronger. Remarried my ex-wife. My business grew and got better. My health improved in all areas. See, it was this thing where at the time I wasn't paying attention to this concept I'm sharing with you now, but I essentially go, hey, the life I'm living I don't like. What do I got to do? I got to do something different. I got to change how I'm functioning, change what I'm doing. What I'm telling you now is a simplified version of a deeper experience I had that everybody has to have to change lives. is to go internal and go, all right, I got this thing going on. I see what's going on. I got to make something different happen. All right, who do I got to be? That's the question we got to ask ourselves. Who do I got to be? And the problem is if you have a living identity inside you that's pulling you down, that thing will never allow you to go pursue something new. It'll latch onto you and pull you down to the depths of hell. But if you can stop for a moment and pull back and go, I want to change my life and make something different take place, well, now something different can, because you choose to change the image, the identity, how you see yourself, which allows a world outside of you to actually change. It allows things to be different. It allows you to actually show up in a better way, because the way you show up is how the world shows up for you, which is how your life gets created. So this weekend, take some time to step away from the life that you're living right now. Just take a look at it. I'm talking very intrusive and very honest, and ask yourself, this life I'm living, is it what I want to be living? And if it's not, then go, great. Why? And I want you to start poking holes in your internal ego. You are doing it to you, by the way. It ain't somebody else doing it, but do it to yourself. Figure out what's going on and realize what habits you have, what patterns, what limitations, what are the moments that have shaped this. And then give different meaning to the moments, create different labels or remove the ones that have been holding you down, expand your limitations so you don't have limitations, and go and become the kind of person that has the life that you desire. And then at some point in time, you're not worried about something you bury, but you're worried about something you see walking around living life, which is you in an amazing space. So write the autopsy and then bury it.
If this episode stirred something in you, good. That means there's work to be done. Don't ignore it, because listening is just the beginning. Because real change happens when you engage and you commit. So I invite you to join the Dark Work community inside the Dark Work app, which is where you communicate with amazing people on the same journey as you. You can find them on the App Store and the Google Play Store right now. Step into the conversations that sharpen your habits, strengthen your identity, and keep you locked in to the Dark Work.